Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our next Chat to a Champ session today. I am joined with our male skeleton athlete, John Farrow, who is here today to answer some of the very excellent questions that you've all researched and sent in. So, John, to start off with, how has your Olympic experience been so far?
Well, so far it's been pretty good. We had awesome preparation coming to the village. Everything's been really nice here. I did everything to prepare the track, and I just missed my best results. So overall, really good experience. And I think once I settle down a bit and realize I made 2 Olympic finals, I'll be super proud of myself and what I achieved.
Awesome. All right, we're going to get started with some questions from North Lakes Public School in New South Wales. Elise from Year 6 wants to know, what is the most competitive country in skeleton?
Well, Chase, that's a good question because it varies depending on gender. So in males, the most dominant country's been Latvia, which they just missed out on a medal in our event. In females, I think the most dominant country has probably been either Germany or Great Britain. Great Britain definitely did really well here with a bronze and a gold medal, and Germany was in second. But I think overall, Germans have probably been more competitive. But on a funding side of things, Great Britain definitely gets the most money out of everyone. So they get pumped about £8 million a year into their program. So in terms of that competitive and how big their team is, their team has so much support staff. So there's two little sides to that question.
Yeah, we're getting there slowly with Australia. Hopefully we
are
grow it
definitely
into the future.
We've got a lot of athletes starting up, so it's definitely good potential.
Awesome. Next question is from Elsa. What's harder, mountain biking or skeleton?
Well, I think mountain biking is harder, which also means that it helped me to talent transfer over to skeleton, which is something coming from Australia. We're not going to grow up with the snow and all these things around. So you've got to find something that you can take over if you want to compete in the Winter Olympics. I know we do that with gymnastics in our aerial skiers. So I think mountain biking was a really tough sport. Our runs are sort of like 3 to 4 minutes, and we have 100+ corners. Now, skeleton's probably more intense, but it's only about 50 seconds to a minute and 20 corners. So the amount of memory and work that I have to do is less, but the intensity on the body while you're on the track is a little more with skeleton.
So hard in different ways.
Hard in different ways, basically, exactly.
Awesome. All right, Jade wants to know, how long did it take to recover from any serious injuries?
Oh, I've had a really big knee injury, which probably took me about 3 years till I felt good again. At the same time, I've shattered both of the biggest bones in my body, and I've been good again in like 4 weeks. So some of the big ones aren't always like the longest recovery. I've also just broke a little scaphoid bone, tiny little bone in my wrist here, which took 3 surgeries and 18 months. And it was just a tiny little fracture that wouldn't heal properly. So, it's not always like the big injuries that like take so long. Sometimes it can be the little ones that just hang around and take a while. So you got to treat every injury seriously and do the work to get better.
Awesome. All right, Jacob wants to know, why did you choose to do skeleton over mountain biking?
Olympics. I love skeleton and I think it's awesome, but I loved mountain biking when I was young too. I was really passionate about that. The reason why I chose skeleton is I was actually mountain biking with my team in Canada where they were getting ready for the Olympics. And I'd seen it and messaged some people about doing it before, but I really wasn't pushed to make the jump over. And when I was in that scene and that Olympic hype and the Olympic spirit and everyone was getting pumped for games, I was like, how cool would this be? I'm a downhill mountain biker, and our cross-country athletes can go to the Olympics, but downhill wasn't an event. And so, it was sort of like that, just, hey, I could represent when I know I can do this, I know I can talent transfer over to this sport. And so really the Olympics was like a big push for me, the vibe behind it, the challenge and everything to come with those 5 rings is probably why I changed to skeleton.
And now you get to call yourself a 2-time Olympian, so
yeah.
Good move after all that. All right, Brianna from Year 6 wants to know, how many medals have you won in skeleton?
So as you progress, you'll go into like little development regional races, and then you might go into an Americas race, a Europe race, World Cup, and we go up from there. I've won all my medals in North America Cups, and I think I probably won close to 20. She's 8 races a year and quite a few of them over my 10-year career. I don't have the exact total, but I would say close to about 20 medals in Cup, and I think I got about 2 or so from European Cup when I was a bit younger, starting the sport.
Great. All right, Shayla, what was a week that you trained?
Well, preparing for Sochi, I was training probably 3 hours a day. I would split to two sessions of like an hour and a half, and that's just the training. You know, we have recovery after that, and all other types of things that go into it. So I was probably doing 2 sessions of 1.5 hours a day before Sochi. Leading up to Pyeongchang, I actually put most of my training into 1 session of 2 hours, just so that my recovery was different to suit my age. The 2 sessions, getting worked up and doing that, was just kind of too much for me to recover. So we kind of took longer blocks to achieve what we wanted to, and then my body had longer time to recover. So I had to like mix it up a bit for the different events.
Around.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Tanisha, what type of foods do you eat when you're preparing for a competition?
It does depend on my weight sometimes, like what my goals are and what I want to achieve. This year I was hitting my weight targets actually, because I got really sick before the Olympics. So I actually dropped quite a bit of weight, so I could eat what I wanted really. Saying that, when I came into the village, I did stay away from a lot of the meats and the fatty focus on, like, you know, my eggs in the morning. I had lots of vegetables and lots of, like, you know, high dense, good quality food. Watching my weight as such, but I still body had like all the vitamins and nutrients that needed to perform. And you know, I think that really helped me in the village here to do that for sure.
Awesome. Well, there's lots of options in that dining hall.
Yeah, tons of food down there.
Do you feel scared when you're competing?
No. I'm trying to think.
What's that moment like in your head just before you're about to race?
We definitely don't feel scared. There's nerves that come about. You might get nervous, and you know, something we. I think if you were scared, you wouldn't be able to compete at a high level. You know, your body would have a natural reaction to be like, you're scared, you're not going to perform better. So everything in you has to be saying, let's go hard, and your body will then pick up on that. Those sort of positive vibes will help your performance. No, I've been after injuries, like re-injuring, or like a fear of re-injuring. And doing the sport, I don't think any Olympic athlete would say that they were scared. Probably a bit more nervous, if anything.
All right, this next question kind of rolls into the same sort of topic. Do you ever think about injury just before you're about to fly down the track?
For sure. It's not as such like I think I could injure this, or I think this could happen. Those things are like out of your mind. You definitely have some kind of like trauma with old injuries sometimes. Especially if you get like a little niggle somewhere that's like not feeling right, and you know you've done like an injury there before. You can really be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. That'll be shocking to my performance here. Or that was really painful last time I did it, and you can kind of have flashbacks of what went on, and it's like, oh, you know, I don't want that to happen. So definitely the injury thing, yeah, you can feel that sometimes as we can to block that out.
Awesome. All right, Nisha wants to know, what does it feel like to compete at the Olympics for Australia?
Yeah, it's awesome. An awesome Olympic culture. We're such a sporting nation, and I really think we get behind our Winter Olympians because we're not meant to be here. Like, we're the underdogs. We don't train in these conditions. We don't grow up and I'll just, you know, jump on the snow, or just go down to the local skeleton track, or I'll do this like most of the nations do here. So that vibe of like, wow, Australia's like a power and winning medals, and you're wrong. It's not meant to happen. There's a pride in that, and there's a pride within the team that we're like, you know, we can be competitive here. So it's awesome competing for Australia as an Olympian. I'm sure the summer athletes feel the exact same pride, but there's also a little added underdog driven in the Winter Olympics team. It's awesome to be a part of that.
Definitely. All right, he wants to try and do skeleton. How does he get in?
Aaron, all right. Have to be 14 first. The limit used to be 16. Now, a lot of like the people who first start when they're younger, they can do luge. So like our Olympian Alex Falazzo, if you went to that sport, they start at like 5 years old. So if you want to do skeleton, I think that's an awesome choice. You have to wait till you're 14, and you have to do a school. So how we get into skeleton is we go to one of the tracks, one of the areas, and we register for a school. What they do in a school is that they teach you how to lay in it. They teach you all the positions and what's the right way to do skeleton. Then they start you lower down on the track.
Okay.
So you're not going to reach the speeds that we get up to. You don't just have to vomit off the top and send it down the hill straight away. You can start lower. And you'll just get a feel of the ice. You may start at like corner 11 and just reach maybe 40 kilometers an hour. But once you look comfortable and you understand what you got to do, then you'll move up, and they'll move up to corners, and you'll slowly progress. So school normally goes 3 to 5 days, and they'll usually get you to the top in those 3 to 5 days. That's how you do it. Make sure you know how to run fast, because if you want to take it to the next level, you're going to have to be a fast sprinter. So everywhere starts with a school. I had to do a school, and I was 26 years old, so everyone's got to do that.
Right. So in year 6, focus on your running is the main thing now.
If you want to be a skeleton athlete and you want to make it to the Olympics, your athletics club with the school or anywhere that you do your 100-meter sprints, and I would focus on that. Focus on being the fastest runner you can, and that'll help you get to the Olympics in the future.
Awesome. All right, Jaden, 26, wants to know, is it hard to get good at skeleton?
It is. Going back to how we're talking about the talent transfer with the amount of athletes I come in with that sprinting background that are phenomenally fast, and I'm like, wow, I wish I had that speed at the top. I see their progress of just having a track and field background, and then trying to learn the skill of driving, trying to manage the G-forces, and just their minds. They're normally only thinking on like one track, where they've got to think so far ahead of different corners and different techniques that it's amazing to see how long it takes to pick up the driving skill. And I think coming from mountain biking, I had that skill already. And so that transferred across so well that maybe then if I was like just a sprinter, it would have taken me a lot longer to get good at skeleton. So it's definitely a hard skill to pick up. You're doing 130 kilometers an hour, dealing with G-forces, and you're trying to make precise little steers. So it's a very precise sport.
Awesome. Shayla wants to know, how long have you been doing skeleton for?
10 years, since 2008. So 10 years of flying down ice tunnels and living in winter.
And this question is definitely, the answer is not as long. How long does it take you to get down the skeleton track?
Shortest track in the world would be about 49 seconds. Longest track in the world would be about 70 seconds.
And you had a serious foot injury. What did it feel like when your foot was paralyzed, and how did you manage to train when only one of your feet was working?
Yeah, it was a weird feeling, like having a knee injury, overcoming that, but then your nerves are paralyzed. So I didn't have any feeling from the knee down. Kind of like if you fall asleep on your arm, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, my arm's not working. That's how my knee felt, but it didn't come back for about 3 years. So the same sensation of like when your arm gets pins and needles coming back into it, over like that time, as my nerves started to heal, the pins and needles started happening. So it was just like that same process we all feel, but like just drag it out over 3 years.
Right.
So it felt weird. It felt strange. It was definitely tough. You ask yourself, why me? Why did this happen to me? I'm a good guy. I train hard. Why? What did I do to deserve this? It doesn't help. And you really need to stay positive and do the things you can to become better. So once I like kind of got over the question, why this happened to me and what can I do to be better in the situation that I'm in, I started being able to train again. In 2012 London Paralympics, and those amazing athletes have overcome way more than that injury that I had. So I was looking at that with my friends, and I was looking at a lot of the prosthetics and things that they made, and we actually started making carbon fiber foot braces that would hold, and so then when we like ran, it would flex and move. So I came into a bit of a design and engineer phase where we were breaking braces, we were making these ones to be able to train again. So I got off that like victim mentality and sort of thinking, oh, what did this happen to me? And started thinking, what can I do in the situation we're in? And was able to train with those braces, basically, is the answer. And then when it came better, I was back to
go again.
train,
Awesome. All right, Riley wants to know, how does it feel to be famous?
Right, I'm not really famous. Famous for about 3 weeks. So it's a humble feeling. You've got to really know that, like, after the Olympics, we go back to normal lives. We work normal jobs, and we train people. So for this 3 weeks, we get to show who we are, and show our dedication and our efforts to the sport. And it's awesome to have that little fame, that little 15 minutes of fame or 3 weeks of fame when we are here. And we love the support that we get from you guys. We wouldn't be able to do it without all that. So it feels amazing. You definitely feel a strong vibe. It's great, but you've also got to be very humble, because when this finishes, you've got to go back to your normal life. And you've got to go back to everything that was happening before this, and no one will be looking at the Olympics. Like, for 4 years, we train at World Cup races, and we train all around the globe, and no one sees it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, everyone loves skeleton. You go head fast. That's amazing. How do you do that? So great feeling, love it, but also very aware that after this 3 weeks, you got to go back and work like everyone else does.
Awesome. Okay, next up, we've got some questions from St. Brigden's School in Victoria. And this first one you'll like. Do you have any children?
I do. Yes, I became a father 4.5 months ago in September. And we named her middle name Sydney, after the town that I grew up in. So, it's amazing to see her starting to develop. And I got a little video message saying, "Good luck, Dad," the day of my event. And it was really important and really huge. And I don't know if I'd let her do skeleton or want, but I would. Sorry, that's the wrong way of saying it. I don't know if I'd want her to do it, but if she wanted to follow down those steps, I'd let her do it, and I'd support her in every way I can. And as long as she was enjoying herself and having fun, I'd be a proud dad.
It's all about having fun, isn't it?
Exactly right.
All right, they are a Victorian school, so they want to know, do you have an AFL team that you barrack for?
Well, I follow rugby league. But, of course, coming from Sydney, whenever there is a Swans game or something like that on the TV, I love watching the Swans play. That's probably not what you want to hear, but we support our team. But, the Swans are, Southeast Melbourne originally?
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. So, I definitely like watching the Swans when they're playing. And my strength and conditioning coach, Johnny Musson, is a mad Swans fan. So he used to always try and use, like, red and white weights when we were in the gym, which was funny to me.
Crazy AFL fans.
Yeah.
All right. When you were younger, did you ever dream of going to the Olympics?
Younger, like when I was probably really young, yes. Well, I remember I have vivid memories of watching the Winter Olympics with my father in 1988, watching Calgary, and dreaming of being like a skier or something like that. And and would take me skiing. And I never really had a sport. I just really vibed off the Olympic spirit. And I thought it was like so cool. When I got to like my sort of 12 years age, I started focusing on rugby league and started playing on contract rugby league. So it's not an Olympic sport. I wanted to play first grade in that. That was my aim. But definitely as a young kid, we all get excited over the Olympics, and we all have a little bit of us in there that like, how cool would that be? And with that opening up of seeing skeleton, I was able to make it happen.
Awesome. All right. Was there someone in particular that inspired you to start doing skeleton or want to push for the Olympics?
Oh, back in 2008, when I was looking at it, there was an athlete called Frank Rommel. He was a German, and at the time, Frank didn't have the fastest starts, but he could slide like amazing. Like watching his runs compared to everyone else just looked like dancing on ice. He looked amazing on the sled, and he made it look like comfortable and gentle and easy, and like a big water slide, where some other sliders made it look like chaos. Like they were going to try and break down a wall and holding their arms and bleeding, and it didn't look fun. But Frank just made everything look so smooth and fun. And I messaged Frank in like 2008 when I was researching all this stuff, and he was like top of the game then. Like, and he messaged back to me saying, I looked at this message the other day, and he told me a lot of info, and for a German to do that in English, to take his time out, he was preparing for an Olympics. He said, I hope I get to race with you one day. And it was, looking back at that now, it was just like no one on his like radar, and he took his time out to do that. So I really respect that about Frank, and I respect it even more being an Olympian now, looking back at what he was saying to me back then. So it was important to have role models, and Frank was a good one.
Awesome. Alrighty, are you interested in any other events at the Winter Olympics?
I think I'm interested in all the events at the Winter Olympics. Everything's amazing out here. The bobsled boys fired off some amazing results last night. I like watching bobsled because it's the same track we do, and I can understand what's going on. I was in the athlete lounge the other day with the cross country skiers, and I had no clue what a classic or a skate style was. You know, so I was able to get info out of them, and then I can enjoy the sport a lot more when I'm watching it. I think a favorite in the Winter Olympics that I've always had there's two probably that I really love. The downhill, it's like the classic event.
Yeah.
I'm a downhill mountain biker. Downhill skiing's
like
the same
going fast
thing.
Down a mountain.
The out of the gate is the same noise I used to hear before I cranked the pedal out of a gate. So
yeah,
you know, even now just saying that, I'm getting like tingles down my neck, taking me back to like when I was a downhill racer. The other one is like ski jumping.
Okay.
I think ski jumping is crazy. Like jumping 120 meters through the air. That's jumping a football field.
Yeah.
Amazing athletes.
Alrighty, what is the most memorable moment of your career so far?
Oh, that's a tough question.
That is a hard question.
I'm going to say two. There's two that the emotions and feelings come back to you that I don't think I would ever forget. The first was getting into the Olympic Village in Sochi and walking into my room. Our formal dress, our blazer was hanging up, and I remember like getting that sort of like that crest like this on a blazer, and it had all the Olympians' names previously lined in the coat. And I found Anthony Dean, our Olympians from 2010 in skeleton. I took a photo, I sent it to him, man. I was like, oh, once Olympian, always an Olympian. Yeah. And he was like pumped on that too. So that sort of like rush of emotions that happened when that went down, I don't think I'll be able to forget it. And yesterday, when I finished the event, I remember first finishing my event in Sochi, and the pride and the feeling of achievement, dedicating yourself to something for 4 years. I mean, people find it hard to dedicate 5 days of a working week. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, the week's over. Yeah. Imagine like 4 years of like, every day. You know, hump day is 2 years of every day having to do this, every day having to do that. And then you get there and you do it. When it's finished, there's this rush of emotion of achievement. And I did get it in Pyeongchang, although I didn't have my best result, but I got it heavily in Sochi because I had an amazing result. Yeah. Just that feeling of personal achievement is something that I don't think anyone can ever take away for you or beat as an experience. So, I mean, set your goals high, dedicate yourself to them, and I'm telling you, the reward at the end of it it's massive.
Awesome. All right, what do you like to do in your free time?
Mountain bike still.
Yeah.
Love to mountain bike. I love to surf a bit. I'm not that good, but you know, I love being in the water. I love just being active with that. Really, if I have free time and I'm not training, that's like I like to do those two things. Be outside, be active, and just enjoy myself. And mountain biking is such a long escape, you know, to the woods and ride and enjoy yourself. And I really love that. Other things I like to do probably inside is like things I like being like a mechanic. I like my sled. I love playing with that, but also love playing with cars and bikes and building and fixing things. Like, and my partner Chrissy is always like, if something's broken, I'm like, she's like, oh, we might have to start within 10 minutes and I'm fixing it. Yeah. You know, so I love doing those things as well.
Awesome. All right, we've got some questions from Gladstone West State School, who you've spoken to in the lead up a couple of times. The opening ceremony, did you march?
I did. It's great. It's fantastic. It's a huge feeling. I thought it would be like the one memory that you remember forever. It is definitely great, but when you're marching into an opening ceremony, you're always thinking you've still got a job here to do. Yeah. You know, so your mind isn't ready to just take it all in. This is great, but I'm here for a reason. So it's got that feeling of like it's just started. You know, the games have started and we're ready to go. I was lucky enough to do it in Sochi as well because my event's in the middle. Yeah. You know, I feel for the boys like Maddie Graham and Britt who you know, their events like straight after it. So they're like 3-time Olympians that don't get to march. So I'm very respectful of you to be able to do that.
Awesome. All right. How many days did your event run for, and did you get many runs on the track?
Yeah, we We did this year. I probably did 6 days straight up leading to my event. And we got 5 Gs of force on us on that track. It takes a lot out of your body. So doing that without a rest day was tough, but we managed it and we handled it well. And my event competition days was 2 days. Basically, 2 days count, but there's a lot of lead up into that. I probably got about 10 runs before the event and 4 runs in the event. So I had 14. And I was able to come here last March, and I had a training week where I got 20 runs in. So all up, I was around the 30 run mark. Whereas, the home track advantage, not only here, but all previous races, I think the last 3 men, like the home athlete has won. And that's a big advantage that they can train on their track and they can get a lot more runs in. So we try to play catch up and get back there as quick as possible.
Yeah. Awesome.
But it's
awesome. And you're all done competition now. So are you staying on at the Olympics? What are you looking forward to doing?
I am. I'm staying on here, and I'm going to support the other Australians. And I've been a skeleton athlete. I have actually damaged my teeth up quite a bit over the years. Wear a mouth guard because I would actually like to have a nice streamlined helmet. So probably a bit of a stupid decision, but I did it for performance. And we have a dental clinic here, so I'm going to get my teeth fixed up.
Awesome.
I think I've earned it.
Yeah, you definitely have.
And get around and enjoy the rest of the games before the closing ceremony.
All right, yeah. Our last question is, what is the Olympic Village like? What's the food like? What's the accommodation like?
Pretty good. I'm actually having a great time in our accommodation. We have 2 different showers. And I'm rooming with 6 other guys, and if one of the other guys gets in the shower, the hot water just goes to that one. So we're fighting over that right now.
Yeah.
The village has awesome food. I can't talk so highly about the food. We've got very clean, great, healthy meals down there at any time of the day. The food is whatever you want. There's pizza, there's hamburgers if you want to be like unhealthy after your event, or you've got like full salad bars with like smoked salmon and rice and greens and all your vegetables. And actually stay off there's little seaweed papers down there that I really like. That's enough seaweed.
Addicted to the seaweed paper.
Enough seaweed, John. I'm like, I love the seaweed.
And what about the athlete lounge that's downstairs now building? It's been very popular with our athletes.
Yes, it has a proper coffee machine, which is important. So after I come back from eating down there, I'll go into the athletes village, get a proper coffee, which us Australians tend to not be able to function without.
That's right.
So it's important we got that there. We've also got TV set up with all the events going and some bean bags. So rather than just staying in your room, because we're not really out too much, it's kind of cold, athletes and just chill out and vibe off each other and chat to each other of how we're going. And that's important in a team. Teamwork inspires everyone rather than just individuals working in individual sports. So the athlete lounge helps to glue that together.
And helping you meet cross-country skiers and other athletes, snowboarders, and learn more about other winter sports.
I know what a classic style and a skate style is now.
Excellent.
Still probably can't do it, but I know it.
All right, so we've had some awesome questions today from all of our schools. Have you got a message to any of our students out there that are maybe hoping?
Yeah, I would say just follow what you feel in your heart. Follow what is fun right now. It's all about fun. You can't be specific in any sport that you want at this age. Have some fun, learn all the different skills you can, because like I'm showing, I may not go down the path that I wanted to and what I wanted to specify in. So if you do a broad range of everything, you're going to have a lot more fun. You're going to meet a lot more friends, which is more important than sport at the end of the day. And you never know, you might just fall into something that you're perfect at.
Awesome. All right. So thank you to everyone for tuning in today and listening to John answer some excellent questions. Very well researched. And we'll hopefully catch up with you back in Australia and see if we can get you to visit some schools and talk more about skeleton. All right. Thanks, everyone. Signing off for today.